When people imagine Africa's deadliest animal, most think of lions, the so-called kings of the jungle, with their sharp teeth, powerful claws, and terrifying roars. Lions are apex predators, feared across the savannah. But the truth is, there is another creature that is far deadlier to humans than lions: the hippopotamus. Despite their almost comical appearance, round bodies, stubby legs, and wide mouths, hippos are responsible for more human deaths in Africa every year than lions, crocodiles, or almost any other large animal. Today, we'll uncover why hippos are far deadlier than lions, and why this surprising fact changes the way we see these giant herbivores. Let's start with the basics. Lions are carnivores that hunt for survival. They typically target prey like zebras, antelope, or buffalo. Attacks on humans are rare and usually happen under special circumstances, when lions are starving, cornered, or when humans wander into their territory. Even though lions are fearsome, they don't see humans as their primary food source. Hippos, on the other hand, are herbivores, but they kill out of aggression and territorial defense, not hunger. And that aggression makes them much more dangerous to people. Hippos live in rivers and lakes across sub-Saharan Africa. By day, they spend most of their time in the water, keeping cool under the surface. But once you enter their territory, whether by boat, on foot, or even standing too close to the riverbank, they react with explosive violence. Hippos can hold their breath for up to 5 minutes, allowing them to lurk unseen beneath the water before suddenly charging upward with terrifying speed. When threatened, they don't back away. Instead, they attack. One of the biggest reasons hippos are so deadly is their size and strength. Adult males can weigh over 3,000 pounds, making them heavier than most cars. Despite this massive bulk, they can run at speeds of up to 30 kilometers per hour on land, faster than the average human sprinter. In the water, they are even more dangerous, using their buoyancy and powerful legs to lunge and overturn boats. Villagers and fishermen in Africa know this all too well, as hippos frequently charge at canoes or small fishing boats, splitting them in half with their sheer force. Survivors often describe the horrifying experience of being thrown into the water, surrounded by enraged hippos, with little chance of escape. Then there are the teeth. A hippo's mouth can open nearly 180 degrees, revealing tusk-like incisors and canines that can grow up to 20 inches long. These teeth aren't used for eating plants. They're weapons for fighting rivals and defending territory. A single bite from a hippo can snap a canoe in two or crush a human body instantly. Their jaws are said to generate over 2,000 pounds of pressure per square inch, strong enough to pierce armor-like skin and bone with ease. Compared to a lion's bite, which is already formidable, the raw, crushing power of a hippo's jaws makes them one of the most dangerous animals to confront. But perhaps the most shocking difference between lions and hippos is behavior. Lions usually give warning signs before attacking. They stalk, roar, or bluff charge before committing. Hippos, in contrast, are notoriously unpredictable. One moment they may appear calm, floating in the water, and the next they may explode in rage. This unpredictability makes them harder to avoid and far more terrifying for people who share waterways with them. Statistics reveal the truth. Lions kill around 100 people per year in Africa. Hippos, however, are responsible for an estimated 500 to 3,000 human deaths annually. The exact number is hard to measure, but one fact is clear. Hippos are by far more lethal to humans than lions. Their aggressive nature, combined with their size, speed, and weapon-like teeth, creates the perfect storm of danger. Crocodiles may rival hippos in terms of aquatic danger, but even they sometimes avoid confrontations with hippos. Despite being massive predators themselves, crocodiles often retreat when hippos enter the water. This is because hippos dominate their territory with sheer aggression, and few animals are willing to challenge them. Even lions, the so-called kings of Africa, rarely attack healthy adult hippos. The risk is simply too high. When lions do target hippos, it's usually sick calves or isolated individuals caught far from water. So why do hippos behave this way? Scientists believe their aggression stems from their need to protect resources and social structures. Hippos are highly territorial in water, where they spend most of their time. Males control stretches of rivers or lakes and aggressively defend them from intruders, whether it's another hippo, a crocodile, or a human boat. Females are equally dangerous when protecting their calves. This defensive instinct is so extreme that it spills over into aggression toward anything that approaches. To better understand their ferocity, consider their social structure. Hippos live in pods, often called bloats, which can include dozens of individuals. Within these groups, dominant males maintain strict control, constantly fighting rivals and defending access to females. These violent clashes between males can be brutal, leaving deep gashes and scars. If hippos are willing to unleash such force against their own kind, imagine what happens when an unsuspecting fisherman drifts into their waters. To a hippo, it isn't just about survival, it's about dominance and control. Another important factor is their adaptability on land. Hippos spend nights grazing on grass, sometimes traveling miles from the water in search of food. During these nightly forays, they encounter humans more often than one might think. Farmers and villagers sometimes cross paths with them in the dark, with disastrous consequences. Startling a hippo on land can be as deadly as surprising one in water, since they can charge with shocking speed and won't hesitate to flatten anything in their way. These nocturnal encounters contribute significantly to the high death toll associated with hippos. It's ironic. Hippos are plant eaters, yet they're feared more than lions, crocodiles, or hyenas. They don't need meat to justify their violence. Instead, their raw power, unpredictability, and territorial instinct make them the most dangerous large mammals in Africa. Even elephants, which are larger and stronger, don't inspire the same consistent fear among locals because elephants are less aggressive toward humans unless provoked. Hippos, on the other hand, seem to treat almost everything as a threat. Another fascinating fact is that hippos have a reputation for attacking boats not just because of territoriality, but because the shape and movement of boats may remind them of rival hippos. To a territorial male, a canoe slicing across the river is no different than another hippo intruding on his domain. This explains why fishermen often fall victim to sudden attacks without warning. From the hippo's perspective, it is simply defending its territory. So the next time you see a hippo yawning in a wildlife documentary, don't mistake that wide mouth for laziness. It's actually a warning. Those stubby legs hide surprising speed, those flat teeth hide unimaginable force, and that seemingly calm demeanor hides explosive aggression. Hippos are proof that the most dangerous animals aren't always the ones we expect. In the battle of deadliness, the hippo quietly outshines the lion, not with stealth or hunger, but with sheer, unstoppable force. They are living reminders that sometimes, the scariest killers wear the mask of harmlessness, and that in Africa's rivers, the deadliest roar doesn't come from the king of beasts, it comes from the bellow of the hippo.